Welcome, shooting world. This is Ernie Hill again for another video. So let me start by showing you a couple of holsters and the difference of them. The WFDA holster, which is totally steel lined, versus the cowboy holster, which is rawhide lined. And my rawhide lined cowboy holsters, I use very thick rawhide, so I try to emulate the stiffness of the holster of a steel lined holster that I have on right here, the traditional holster. And Mr. Sean Murphy, this is going to be shipping soon. I'm going to do a demo using your beautiful WFDA traditional holster. To show a couple of draws as well. Okay, let me get my pistol. Been empty for many moons, still empty. So, what we have here is the WFDA Ernie Hill traditional model holster. You can see that the position of the holster is just ideal because through the evolution of holsters, I've designed this to where it's actually in front of you, and that is the best position to actually draw from. Let me tie this down. I will show you a few draws and keep it simple. So, as I was saying, hold on one second. So, again, this Alfonso holster was a tradition it was a standard holster for the WFDA for many moons before I started building holsters. So the position of this pistol, you can see it goes on the hip, and look at the difference. This is made so that the pistol is actually, and the boot's tight, anyway, that the pistol is set on the side. So when it's on the side, it's way back there, and it's just harder to get to on the side way back there. We didn't know any better back then. When I got older, I knew better. So there was just no way, if you tried to put the pistol in front of you, then obviously the gun faces to the left. So, to solve that problem, through the evolution of holsters, this WFDA steel line holster is just ideal because it does set the pistol exactly where it needs to be. So, I have the fanning pistol here. This holster sets perfectly for thumbing, fanning, whatever you're doing. If you're shooting WFDA thumbing, this is just ideal. So it's a legal holster for the WFDA. It will also be legal for the Gunfighter Shooting Association that Mr. Dave Livingston, the attorney friend of mine, a longtime friend, we are together and we're going to start the Gunfighter Shooting Association. It's in process now, and let me just say it's going to incorporate WFDA shooting with cowboy shooting. The WFDA shooting has kind of been swept under the rug by the CFDA, and it's a shame really, because the evolution of shooting actually came from there. The Western Fast Trail Association turned into the World Fast Trail Association. Anyway, I'm going to expose it to cowboy shooters because it really is the history of fast draw. So let's get back to this rig. So it is gorgeous. Sean, you're gonna love this rig, but it just sets perfect. You can see the gun when that right foot position is out. The pistol is at right other leg, and it literally is easily accessible. It's the best position for the pistol to be in. Okay, so for fanning, there are several draws that you can do with this. And the fast draw world, there were 4 standard events for a long time. The first 40 years of fast draw. The standard events, it's like DVC and IPSC. Speed, power, and accuracy. So we had the events. For example, the speed event was the 4-inch balloon from 8 feet with a blank load. You have a pattern at about 18 inches or so. So you do have to hit the balloon, and it's not a given. Your draw has to be perfect, or it's easy to miss even in the speed event. The accuracy event is the 15-foot steel silhouette wax target. So because of, for pure accuracy, much more difficult target to hit with a single projectile, a wax bullet, a simulated bullet. So there's no spread or anything. It really is a single projectile bullet. So that was the WFDA standard for events forever, before all the multiple events took place, which enabled more records to be held, etc. So anyway, for the sport of WFDA, World Fast Draw Association, this rig is actually perfect, because what you can do is literally draw the pistol right here. And let me just say, there's so many draws, especially going on now because of cowboy and everything, where they watch too many Hollywood movies. Jane Garnett's draw, where the pistol is drawn way out here. It may look good, but it's the worst possible way to draw the gun, because the barrel is just going everywhere as you're shoving it forward. So the best way to shoot, trust me, I tried them all over the years since I was 6 years old. So I kind of know draws. So let me just say this: the best way to draw the single action is to, obviously, you pop the hip. You have to pop the hip. My arm isn't doing anything. You pop the hip. Even in a more traditional holster, you pop the hip, and it draws the pistol. Okay, so then you just come up, and you don't want to go forward at all with the pistol. Again, the barrel moves. For shooting 15-foot wax, as the cowboy shooters know, it's not the easiest thing to hit. So the best way is to you just move the pistol straight up. So whether it's a fan right there straight up, but it has to come straight up. If you go back, you're chasing a hammer, it's slower. So that's for fanning. Here's another WFDA draw with the fanning hammer. It is called slap cocking. I'm not fond of it. Have I shot it successfully? Yes. The theory is this for slap cocking, and many shooters use that. You actually slap the hammer back while it's in the holster, and you come up and you fire on target. The theory behind that is that you don't have the jarring of the gun, so it's just easier to get to the hammer right there and come up and shoot. So, okay, it actually works well for double balloon shooting, so, or double wax shooting, whichever you want to call it. So, slap cocking for 2 targets, whether it's wax, whether it's balloons, doesn't matter. The same draw. You can crank a little bit more on the blanks because of the pattern of the blank, rather than single projectile. Okay, so what happens is you slap it back, bring it on target, keep it right there, and fan. So in real motion, it is okay. So that's one way of doing it. But you have to keep the gun. You have to keep the gun here so you can get to the second one and not be poking it and wasting time. It's a lot of wasted time when you do that. Okay? So, that's that. Here's the thumbing gun. Okay? It's the same draw. It really is the same draw. You want to keep it up right here. Just pop the hip and keep it right there. So, right there. And that's an index type draw. That's what the WFDA was based on. This isn't the shield line twisting rig, but so this was index shooting, and that's the best way to shoot it. Cowboy shooters, I should say, a few shooters actually are thumbing and doing double target, so the same holds true. It's right here, come back, and there you go. Okay, so let me just say that the history of the game is definitely alive and well, and it shows in the cowboy world as well. So let me switch to a cowboy rig that is called the MAX, because as this sets forward on the body, so I did the same thing with cowboy as much as possible. The rules limit the cowboy holsters. CFDA established it, which is fine, and the guns as well. No fanning with a regular built-up hammer. It's all thumbing with a stock hammer on a Vaquero, Colt, all the replicas. It doesn't matter. They're all stock. Okay, so this cowboy rig is called the MAX because you can see how I've done the same thing as much as possible with the limitations to get the gun facing to the right, so that when you put it on, brand new holster stuff. Chris Bubba Freeback, you're gonna enjoy this holster. Thanks for letting me demo out of it. Okay, so what you got is, you can see how the pistol is kicked to the right, so it allows you to move the holster just a skosh to the left. It's still legal because it's at the side of the seam, which is what cowboy rules have. Anyway, so what you have is this. This is called the MAX because this is far, really, as you can go with the cowboy rig. And it's the same draw. Literally, let me face the target here. Same stance, right foot forward. You can see how the pistol is lined up. So it's just a matter of thumbing right there on target. And as the cowboy shooters do, you're shooting on wax target. When your draw is down pat, and you know where the barrel's at, and it's just a matter of, you can crank, you can just let her fly. You don't worry about locking in the pistol. You pop the hip, new leather, gotta get it. Anyway, you pop the hip, see, it draws it, you cock it, you fire it. So the main thing is, you don't want to come back. You can actually chase the hammer in thumbing as well. It's slower, and it causes you to miss the hammer and have some half cocks, missed cocks, whatever you want to do. Okay? Whatever you want to call it. So what you have is you pop the hip and you just let it go. And the barrel's lined up on target. And the blocker target that a lot of cowboy shooters are shooting on is 20 by 40. So it's much larger than the WFDA standard target. So it's no problem hitting that when when you're cranking, as long as you keep the barrel on a straight line and you're not coming across your body or anything. So, real quickly, right there, and you just let her. This is important. I never addressed this. The WFDA, in the early days, where I set my records, you cannot touch the gun. It was obvious hand distance. So, there is a big difference. There's a difference when you can't touch your gun. You got time to come into it and make the draw. So, as a matter of hundredths of a second, anyway, for safety reasons, it's called the lawman ready. So, basically, you can hold on to the gun, get ready to go, trigger finger can't be in, it's got to be out. But, so, it's just a different world when you can hold on to the gun, trust me. I spent 40 years not touching the gun and making similar draws. So, it's a matter of, right there, it's a matter of getting on target and just let her fly. Seriously, the bullets fired where it was supposed to. You never want to hold on to your pistol and keep it from firing. Copperhead Kid obviously is shooting extremely fast out of a rig similar to this, and his draw is just right up and fire, and it's just really, really quick. Shooter line, shooter set, and just let it fly. So that's it. I'm still going to cover some twisting at a later date. That'll be interesting, but these are the two holsters. The WFDA steel line version, my newest holster for the World Fractional Association shooters. And Sean, that is a beautiful holster, and it's going to be coming at you real soon. So you can see why it's designed that way, because the pistol's in front of your body. Okay. And one last thing, I tried to make the cowboy holster as forward and as turned around as much as allowable. So that's what I've done. So it's a fast rig. If you're still using a holster that is at your side, trust me, can you shoot there? Of course you can. But it's better a little forward. You can get to the pistol much quicker and much faster. So anyway, hope you learned something. Hope you enjoy. Till next time, thank you very much. God bless. And goodbye. Thank you.